You know, with the COVID quarantine going on, it's more important than ever to have books to read and movies to watch. There's a new cowboy in town, and the movie Badland is treating him good.
What's your name? Preacher.
Riding the range is dangerous and lonely work, but it seems to suit Pinkerton detective Matthias Breacher just fine. It's 10 years since the end of the Civil War, and his job is to hunt down former Confederates.
I always knew my sins would catch up to me.
But that commitment creates a conflict when he meets a strong and beautiful woman who might help him escape the ghosts that haunt him.
And what about you, Matthias Breacher? What does the future hold for you?
Anything that might have me finding my head on a pillow instead of a rock or a log. Place to call home.
I see.
Kevin Makeley stars as Breacher. Badland is having quite an impact with home viewers, many who are going it alone during the COVID-19 quarantine. The movie is now trending in the top 10 on Netflix.
What do you say we give these folks a good old-fashioned dime novel showdown?
Badland is the result of hard work by Makeley, who helped bring the movie to life through his own production company, Papa Octopus. This is his 5th film, and his growing reputation allowed him to sign big names such as Bruce Stern, Trace Adkins, and Mira Sorvino to the project.
Tell me a little bit about Breacher, because he's an iconic guy, but he reminds me more of a Jimmy Stewart type character.
I love it. I've said it before. Breacher, obviously, I'm homaging Clint Eastwood in that. I'm not trying to pretend it's something different. Normally, I'm a bigger guy. I run around 220, 230, weight-wise. I like to lift a lot of weights. I leaned down for that role because I wanted to fit into the persona of the gunslinging guy that you've seen in every Western girl. I basically wanted to be Clint Eastwood, like that frame. So I basically starved myself and, to get to a point where, everything looked, I fit into this package. And, so I wanted to fit the mold of Clint Eastwood, but he also, I'm an 80s kid, so I grew up with these guys, these action heroes. So basically, Breacher is the man with no name, so every awesome Clint Eastwood character, John Rambo and Luke Skywalker, all wrapped into one. He's got the values of a Jedi. He's got the kick-assness of Rambo, and he is the amazing gunslinger that can walk into any room and, give the stare, and ride a horse and shoot a gun that Clint Eastwood was in every movie. So he's the result of every obsession I had with movies growing up, all wrapped into one character.
Well, I hope you don't mind, since you're such a huge Star Wars fan. My husband and I were discussing, we're like, this reminds me a lot of The Mandalorian. And we were, glued to that with the same kind of, lone gunfighter, gunslinger kind of point of view there, and a broken man. So it doesn't really say a lot about how Breacher is broken, but how do you think he's broken?
First, I want to say that's probably the best compliment we've gotten on the film. Compared to The Mandalorian, I think The Mandalorian is it's the best thing to happen to Star Wars, since Return of the Jedi. I'll probably get creamed for saying that, but anyway. So wait, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Tell me a little bit about Breacher, what you think makes him such a broken man.
Oh, well, I created a backstory for him that I don't really get into, broken family and struggling and moving around a lot and, being his own guy. But his biggest weakness, which is also his biggest strength, I think, for the character, is that, he follows his own code, and his code, in particular in this movie, is justice. He follows the badge. The badge, if he's got the badge, and the badge says, with this badge, I'm bringing you to justice because you did something, that warrants justice, or to offend the badge, whatever it is. And so it's black and white. If I'm coming for you, Breacher's coming for you, he's coming for you.
I've waited a long time to find somebody to take on this task.
Someone that did not fear the endeavor.
Breacher has proved such an appealing character that Makeley is working to create an online comic book focusing on Breacher's life and adventures prior to Badland. It looks like Breacher will ride again. Until then, stay safe and healthy. From the wilds of my backyard, I'm Alessia Stanford, and that's what's in the Hollywood spotlight now.